Hey man, let me tell you something cool I've been digging into lately. The story of Harley-Davidson. You know, that legendary American motorcycle brand that's practically become a symbol of freedom itself. What's crazy is it all started in a tiny wooden shed in Milwaukee back in 1903. William Harley and the Davidson brothers, Arthur, William, and Walter, built their first motorized bicycle in that little workshop. Just imagine, a tiny single-cylinder engine bolted onto a bicycle frame. It wasn't fast, but it was the beginning of a legend. By 1909, they came up with something that would change motorcycles forever, their very first V-Twin engine. That's the classic Harley sound you can still recognize today, that deep rumble everyone calls potato potato. What's even funnier is that people back then didn't really trust motorcycles. They looked noisy, dangerous, and unreliable. But Harley kept pushing. During World War I, Harley-Davidson really stepped up. They sent tens of thousands of bikes overseas to American troops. Soldiers used them to deliver messages, scout ahead, and move quickly across battlefields. By the time the war ended, Harley was one of the biggest motorcycle companies in the world. They had already made themselves a household name. Then came the 1920s and 1930s, the golden age of Harley. They built beautiful machines like the JD and the Knucklehead, bikes that weren't just transportation but rolling pieces of art. And during the Great Depression, when a lot of companies were collapsing, Harley survived by sheer determination. They even built a three-wheeled delivery bike called the Servy Car, which stuck around for decades. World War II brought the famous WLA model, nicknamed the Liberator. Over 90,000 of them went to the military. These bikes weren't polished showpieces. They were rugged, tough, and built to handle anything. After the war, returning soldiers had fallen in love with riding. That's when motorcycle clubs exploded in popularity, and Harley quickly became their weapon of choice. In the 1950s and 60s, Harley-Davidson became more than just a company. It became a lifestyle. You had movies like The Wild One and later Easy Rider that turned Harleys into icons of rebellion and freedom. The Sportster, launched in 1957, was Harley's answer to fast European bikes, and it quickly became a classic. Of course, it wasn't always smooth sailing. In the 1970s and 80s, Harley faced tough competition from Japanese brands like Honda and Yamaha. Their bikes were faster, cheaper, and often more reliable. Harley even hit a point where people doubted if the brand would survive. But instead of giving up, they leaned into their identity. They pushed the idea that riding a Harley wasn't about pure speed. It was about character, sound, and the feeling of being part of a brotherhood. That was genius marketing, and it saved them. The 1990s gave us the legendary Fat Boy, made even more famous by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. That one movie scene of him riding a Harley with a shotgun practically turned the bike into a cultural monument. Then came the V-Rod in the 2000s, built with Porsche to appeal to a new generation of riders. And of course, more recently, Harley has stepped into the future with the all-electric Livewire and the adventure-ready Pan America. Here's a fun fact. Harley-Davidson actually trademarked the sound of their V-Twin engine in the 1990s. They literally tried to make that rumbling exhaust note legally theirs. While it didn't fully go through, it shows just how iconic that sound really is. What I love most about Harley's story is that it's not just about motorcycles. It's about survival, reinvention, and culture. Every era gave Harley a new challenge. Wars, economic crashes, fierce competition, and every time they found a way to adapt without losing their soul. From that little wooden shed in 1903 to today's sleek 2025 Low Rider S, Harley-Davidson isn't just a bike. It's a symbol of freedom, rebellion, and the open road. So yeah, next time you hear that rumble in the distance, you'll know it's not just a motorcycle. It's over a century of history riding by.